Good afternoon, boys and girls. Today we're going to make ANZAC biscuits. I'm using a recipe from one of my favourite websites called One-Handed Cooks. I'm also going to add some banana to it, which I haven't done before, but I do like to try and put some fresh fruit or vegetables in some of the food that I cook for my kids. So I'll do that and see how that goes. Um, and Anzac biscuits are very traditional, especially at this time of year for Australians as we lead up to Anzac Day. They were first cooked and used in World War One because they were a good food that wives and mums could send with their soldiers away to war, and they didn't go mouldy for a really, really long time, and they're full of carbohydrates and iron, which our soldiers needed while they were fighting in the war. And so they've just become, um, a traditional food that we eat around Anzac Day, but also all year round. Lots of people like to cook them because you usually have the ingredients in your pantry ready to go, and they're very yummy. So I will post the link for the website for the recipe along with this video, and I'm just going to read it off my phone. So, and again, like last week, I'm doubling the ingredients so that we get more Anzac biscuits out of it. So the first thing we need is 3/4 of a cup of plain flour, which I have here, and I'm using our measuring cups again. I've got Bridie helping me again this afternoon, you might see. She is happy, I promise. Then we've got 3/4 of a cup of coconut. So I've doubled that, but that's in that bowl. I've got a cup of rolled oats, which is what you use for porridge. Half a cup of sugar. So because I'm doubling the ingredients today, that will be 1 cup of sugar, but I'm actually just going to use half a cup of sugar because I don't like to use too much sugar, so we've halved that actually. We've got some butter that I've melted, 100 grams of butter I've got in the bowl here. It's very runny, so I won't bring it over. 2 tablespoons of golden syrup in this bowl. Half a teaspoon of bicarb soda, and I just thought I'd show you the box in case you weren't sure of what that is. That's bicarb soda. And then a tablespoon of boiling water. I'll just grab my kettle because I did just boil that. And then I thought I'd show you, I've got a really nice Anzac tin celebrating 100 years of Anzacs. So we can put our bickies in there when we're finished. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is preheat the oven to 150 or 160 degrees Celsius. Get mum or dad to do that, of course, and also remember to wash your hands before we start. Okay, so we need to add the flour. So that's our flour, our coconut, our oats, and our sugar into the bowl and stir to combine. Would you like to do the stirring? A quick stir. Now we need to add, good girl, we need to add the bicarb. So I'll just sprinkle that through so that it does spread around well. We don't want just a clump of bicarb because that doesn't taste very nice. So keep stirring that, please, Bright. And we'll do 2 tablespoons of boiling water. Could I just borrow that spoon, please? So it's 1 tablespoon for the recipe, but we're using 2 because I'm doubling. There you are. Keep stirring. Okay, now we're going to add the melted butter and syrup. Could I just give that a quick stir, please? Just make sure it's all stirred in really, really well. Now, I'm going to put my mashed banana. I should show you. I've got 2 mashed bananas, so I'm experimenting here. It may not work really well, but I think it will. It'll just make them probably a bit softer. So if you're after a crunchy biscuit, that's probably not a good idea. Okay, melted butter. We'll tip that in. So the recipe says 100 grams of butter and 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. Okay, give that a stir if that's all right. Very easy recipe. Okay, can I grab it back? There you go. You just want to make sure all of the wet ingredients get to the dry ingredients so that it cooks well. So of course there's no milk or egg in here, so that's why it was such a good food to make and send overseas with Australian soldiers, because it would last a long time, and the oats would have filled up their tummies pretty well, and it also doesn't cost very much to make, so that's good. And then that's what we've got. Looks really good. I think the bananas look fine in there. Now, I've just put some baking paper down on the tray just so that they don't stick to the tray. And I'm just going to get a teaspoon and just put a little dollop on the tray. And I'll just keep going along. You don't have to leave too much room between them because it's not self-raising flour, so they won't really grow. But you don't want to make them too big so that they cook nicely. And we're just going to put them in the oven for 15 or 20 minutes until they're nice and golden and get them out. So if you like really crunchy ANZAC biscuits, you would leave them in there for a bit longer perhaps. But if you like them chewy and soft, which I do, then get them out just as they're going golden. And you will enjoy some ANZAC bickies in your home. And they're really good to freeze as well. So if you do make a big batch, you can freeze them and have them for months to come, or just put them in your tin on the bench, and you might like to have them with a cup of tea with your family over the school holidays. Thank you, boys and girls. I'll put the link up in with this video, and please share any cooking that you're doing with us. Have a good afternoon. Bye.